So, a few years ago, one of my agents had forgotten that he was supposed to go to a wedding on a Sunday, and he had scheduled himself for an open house. And so, often what happens during an emergency is I get called, and I told him that not a problem, I would go ahead and do it. And it coincided that the fact that the listing that we had was the home of a mutual friend of ours. So, why not? I had nothing going on that Sunday. I'll sit there from 1 to 4, and you never know what's going to come around the bend. And so after a couple of hours of doing the open house, which was pretty quiet, I had been drinking water, of course, and so I needed to go to the bathroom. And so I went, did what I had to do, and all of a sudden I noticed that the water, instead of heading down, started to come up. And also the water wasn't necessarily clear. There was all sorts of stuff in it, and I won't go into detail because it's a family-friendly show. Anyways, um, all of a sudden the water starts to bubble up and then just pours itself out of the toilet, and it starts dripping all over the place. And I'll tell you that I froze there for a second, just not believing what I was saying. But after a moment of catching myself, I turned off the water, stepped into some of the things that had spilled over, turned off the water, and all of a sudden started frantically looking for something to sop things up with, because what I did not want is for this to seep into the floors or create more of a problem. The challenge, though, is that because since they were already living in another home and we were selling their place, they had removed all of the cleaning materials, all towels, anything to take care of an issue like this. Also, the plunger of all things happened to be gone, and so I had to find trash bags, and I had to find ways to clean up around the mess. And what I realized what happened is that somebody, since the house was vacant, had used the lockbox and had used the facilities and clogged them up, and not told anybody. And I was the poor sap that unfortunately ended up cleaning up the mess. I came home that day. I told my wife about it. She was disgusted and, you know, poured me a beer, I think. Uh, and the next day, I started to feel ill. And what I also didn't realize is that this was around the time when the swine flu had started to pick up. And so that's what I think I got from that open house. And I don't know why, but I've been at dozens of houses since then. And I have this fear of using the bathroom at anybody else's house. I just don't ever want to have to deal with that again. Anywho, for all of you out there who are showing property, that's something that you may want to think about. Make sure that the bathroom is in working order and not something's clogged up, because you may have to take care of a problem like that. Like always, I look forward to your comments, your questions, anything you may have, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.